Okay, there we go. So for some reason, it wouldn't let me go live. Um, but now it is. So I just sometimes it takes a couple tries to get it to go live. Anyway, today's topic of discussion, like we were talking about in the main video today, is toxic positivity. And I just wanted to kind of use this today as a way to chat about what it's like to pretend to be happy all day long. And it's crazy that some people are even in marriages, I think. What's up, Kevin? I think I'm only going to stream today for about maybe under an hour. I'm going to set a goal really quick. For our what's up, guys? All right, I can see everybody here. Kevin, Wayne, Michael, Jonathan, Berserk, and more Jonathan. Pretty cool. And what's up, guys? Today's pretty a low energy stream. I'm wearing a dress today, which is rare because I went out to eat with my family, so I actually had to get dressed and leave my art studio today. But honestly, toxic positivity. We were talking about it earlier today in the main video. Here, I'm gonna do a fit check really quick, guys. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that was like a little quick. It's just a basic dress. Anyways, we'll probably only be streaming until maybe 7:30. Or, well, I don't know where you guys are, obviously, but where I am at 6:50 p.m., so we'll probably be streaming until about 7:30 just to do a little checkup. Coco, do I think a negative outlook creates a negative life? Well, I feel like I honestly think that I don't even know. I don't think so. I think that, when you're negative, it's because your life is already that way. And I know that these woo-woo spiritual gurus are always like talking about you create your own reality, but I really don't think manifestation is real. You guys really want me to spin around? I'll do a spin for you guys, okay? Sorry, Mom. I'll do a little spinneroo. We gotta do. It's not really a fit check unless I spin, is it? You can't really see my whole dress, so I don't know. That was a pretty lame spin, guys. That was cringy, but I gave you guys some fan service there. So, is the glass half empty or half full? Honestly, it's both. I don't really even care about that argument. Eventually, the water evaporates anyway. So, oh, you guys are so easy to impress. Okay, I don't even know what we're talking about. Obviously, I have my notes here. Let me look into this. I was doing some reading into some. I was looking at my goals for 2015, or sorry, 2025, and so I wrote down these goals back in January, and my goal list for 2025 was draw every day, didn't happen. Become a YouTube partner, did happen. Begin paying my bills with art and YouTube, did happen. Excel at my day job, did not happen. So I have two goals that have apparently come true so far, and that's the only thing we can really hope for at this point. I'm trying to get interested in goal setting and stuff like that. But for me, it's difficult to set goals when I'm so inconsistent. I don't know if you guys relate to inconsistency, but I have a new painting over there. It's not really a new one. That one's kind of an older one that I just wanted to show you guys. Water in the ocean is consciousness, and it separates and becomes rain, and it becomes earth and or material life and evaporates to the sky and joins the ocean. Very profound, Coco. I feel like each drop of rain eventually becomes the ocean and was once one with the ocean as well. So that's the water cycle for you. I think I've had trouble with toxic positivity because I'm not the most agreeable person. I'm not very good at people pleasing. And I'm also very inconsistent. I have a hard time just showing up to things. But on the good news, I do have a job interview tomorrow at a plant nursery. And it's probably going to be just a cashier position. So hopefully that will be manageable. Yo, Brent, we got it. First super chat, and we got that dancing pair. We love to see that. Thank you, Brent. We love that. Is it going to let me like the super chat? I guess not. So the job interview is for a position at a plant nursery. Like I was saying before, I've never worked with plants. The guy even asked me if I had horticultural experience. I said no. He asked me if I had cashier experience, and I said yes. So maybe I'll get some new experience with some plants, and we'll see how that goes. I hope that this works out. My mom is skeptical that it's going to work out, but we can only do what we can do. And I've been waiting for an interview for several months, so I'm going to just take what I can get, honestly. I applied to several jobs. This was not really one of the ones that I wanted to call me back because it's like $12 an hour. And I bet he's probably going to give me less because I don't have any experience with plants. So, hey, I mean, it's a seasonal position, so no hard feelings if I get let go at the end of it. And it does suck that it's not a permanent position. But at this point, I'll take whatever just to earn a little bit of extra moolah. So I feel like the more emotion a person has invested into something, the harder it is to walk away from it. And a lot of this toxic positivity stuff has a lot of things when it comes to having put a lot of energy into something and getting nothing back. Like it's hard to leave a job, right? I don't even know where I was going with that. Kai says, I love plants. Derp dupes. Good luck. Congrats, dude. Thanks, Alice. Marietta Berry. Good luck with the interview. Interviews are stressful. Congrats. Am I an only child, Simone? No, I have a younger sister. My friends all post themselves on 1,000 jobs interviews just to get an internship. Yeah, Frosty. This job market out here is tough. Even just getting a basic interview is pretty rough out here. Thousands is true. I have 2 cats. 2 of them passed away recently, unfortunately. They say it's not about getting a job, but working towards something like craftsmanship. Well, Coco, I'm working towards craftsmanship, as you can see. I really do try to do everything that I can to, do my creative endeavors, and then as well as try to look for jobs. They expect you to kind of like give practice, like they want you to practice giving approval and praise. And they want you to just kiss ass all day long. And I'm not really good at ass kissing because when I do it, it comes across as disingenuous or weird. I feel like I've gotten in trouble for being too friendly at work. And let me explain that. So I was working at a place where I was accused of flirting with the male coworkers, which I didn't do. None of them were my type. And all of it was because I was being too friendly. So it's like, how much are you supposed to care? There's like this unspoken rule about just how much is acceptable at a workplace. And I never seem to get within that perfect range. Hi, Michael. Again, what is my favorite part of Florida? We go to 30A sometimes. So I guess between Destin and Panama would be my favorite personally. Yo, Michael de Lima, with all that membership status going down. Love that for you. Brother. I was reading something that I'm not in Florida. No, I don't live in Florida, but sometimes we go there. So I was reading that you're supposed to like give praise to people because it's not done enough, and you're supposed to do it in the moment, use specific language and praise in public, and do it continuously to build a habit, and then do it intermittently, which I learned from a seminar that I was listening to on Audible. It seems easy to implement, but the last time I did it, I got in trouble. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? Yo, hi, dear CG. Hello, greetings from Iraq. What's up? It's a long way away. Oh, blurry, blurry. Focus. Oh, I'm all blurry. Well, my camera has now decided to go out of focus just like the rest of my life. Oh, there it goes. My camera has decided it's ADHD, it doesn't want to focus. But we finally got it to work there. My favorite Pokemon is Ampharos. My second favorite Pokemon is Typhlosion, Charizard, Pidgeot, Typhlosion, and Blaziken. Some people will do anything in order to complain. There is some truth to that, Simone. I think that there are honestly people who dwell on the negative a bit too much, and I might be one of those people. But at the same time, I feel like denying negativity only fosters it and makes it grow. ADHD is usually a fear of success. I've never heard that one before. Interesting. Frosty, Starmie has been one of the OGs in OU for a long time. I think it's held up competitively, which is crazy for a Gen 1 Pokemon to hang in there from the power creep. So we gotta love some Starmie. And I hear it's getting a Mega in Legends ZA, so we love to hear that. So we might be streaming some Legends ZA eventually, or some Planet Zoo. I might be playing that. But why would you compliment your coworkers when they aren't your boss? I never really complimented them necessarily. I was just being friendly and smiling. That was basically it. And that was too much for them apparently. And that was seen as flirting. So if you present as a certain person, you're going to be taken in a certain way. And I just never really understood that. So I don't know if my supervisor was just jealous of the men at that where I was working were giving me more attention than she was receiving. She was a middle-aged white lady, so she might have seen me as competition. But I don't want to get too conspiratorial with that. Because I wasn't flirting. That was the biggest thing. And then I had a huge crash out. And the thing about this job was that I got it through the state agency, and I had waited months to get this job. So it was a huge waste of time. They completely screwed me over. I didn't do anything wrong, but they said that I was flirting with minimum wage workers, which is not my type. So, whatever. They're confusing being friendly and being open and smiling with flirting. Just because I'm smiling and talking to you doesn't mean I'm flirting. Whatever. So silly. Electrode is better than people say he is. He's a pretty good range setter. I also like Hisuian Electrode, Grass Electric. He's pretty tight. He's got some pretty good coverage moves, and he's not to be underestimated. I love how fast Electrode is as well. My toxic positive thought today is that I will buy the buckets of ice cream from my store by 10 o'clock tonight. Okay, interesting, Glass. Love that for you. I actually had some Dairy Queen today. Maybe they're... Oh, I already read that one. Do I like rap music? I don't know. I guess so. I listened to some, like Glorilla. Do you guys know Glorilla? She's from Memphis, of course. But I think it's cool because she's from the Southeast. They were probably looking for a reason to fire you. Well, no shit, they were, but I had just started working there. So it's like, why would they go through all this process of going through the state to hire me and just to like throw me out just because I was too pretty to work there? So silly. Kai, you love Glorilla. Glorilla is pretty cool. I like who else is it? I don't know. She did a collab with someone. I can't remember who it was, but that person. I don't know if I'm thinking of Megan the Stallion. She's a little mainstreamer than Glorilla is, but I like Glorilla because she's a little less mainstream. She's had a couple hits, but I've listened to some of her other lesser known ones where she's talking about disrespecting her baby daddy and stuff. Love that for her. Gotta do it. Da, 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 da. I tell my kids that you have to perform for the audience and life is a stage. That's a pretty reasonable thing to teach them, see? Because I think that I was taught that you have to be genuine and be yourself, which was always a lie. So at least your kids know the truth, that life is a complete performance and the world is a stage. They're going to be way more prepared than I was. How is my relationship with my sister? I see her probably a couple times a month when she comes and drops her kid off at my mom's house. We are friends now, but we were very much hating each other back in the day. Check out the band Granddaddy. A lot of their songwriting is incredibly introspective. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. All right, I wrote it down. A personality means persona. Coco, I agree with that 100%. And I have never really known how to develop a persona. What you see is what you get with me, and that's usually a huge weakness, actually. Am I a good swimmer? I used to do competitive swimming back in, like, when I was a younger kid, only on the neighborhood team, though, nothing like state or anything like that. But yeah. Am I going to do videos or lives where I actually paint? I'm going to. I just need to figure out how to set that up. I just need, like, I kind of need a different tripod for my webcam in order to use it that way. In order to, like, face it down onto the canvas or onto the paper. But I'm definitely going to start doing some of that soon. You an epic gamer, brah? I don't know if I'm gay. I'm pretty straight, unfortunately. They want the tax money that they get from hiring you. Capable Planet, I never thought about it that way, but you're probably right. That does sting when you're trying to be normal or fit in and backfires. Glad you haven't given up. Thank you. Thank you very much, Frosty. We all have a need for authenticity, but the workplace puts a stop to it most of the time. I don't think the workplace is the appropriate place for authenticity, actually. And I just need to stay in my lane and do my job. And then sometimes that doesn't become enough. Yo, Michael, helping you reach your target. Love that. Nice job. We're going to like that. We like it. Oh, yes. Michael is going to help us reach that target. I actually did think about getting a CDL, Michael, but I'm not really a good driver. I can't even park a sedan, let alone drive a giant truck. I've thought about getting, like, forklift certifications and stuff, but I'm not sure if I would want to live in a male-dominated industry, to be honest. I don't think I would fit in there either. But this new job that I might be getting, if you guys just tuned in, I did get an interview at a plant nursery as a cashier and a stocker. So it's a little bit higher than minimum wage, but I'm hoping that that works out. Have I ever had a cashier job? Yes. And do I like MS Escher's work? Yes, I do. Escher is really awesome. Hi from Morocco. This is why people should do magic. You need magic. It's funny you should mention magic, Coco, because I actually have my book of shadows right over here. I'll give you a glimpse of it. 1 second. I actually did a spell earlier today. I keep all my spells in this diary right here. And maybe I'll show some of you guys my other ones. Here's another good spell that I did. This one's really shiny. But I mostly do pagan magic and stuff like that. I have a lot of spells in this book, probably about 30 already. I just do them spontaneously. It's kind of like a scrapbooking project. But we'll see if any of them come true. It's important to think about what community your potential job will bring you into. Ah, yeah, definitely. I don't know if the truck driving community would be my fit, but plant people, I think I'll fit in with plant people a lot better than I would with truck people. So I'm pretty excited. Was I happy when I was really little, like in kindergarten? I would say for the most part, I was a happy kid. My mom says I was, but then she says when it came to competitions, I would focus on the people who lost and not the people who won. I would be like, but four people lose and only one person wins. I don't like these odds, mom. And I was like four. So I've always had a glass half empty kind of view on life. I'm just wired that way, I guess. Sounds good for you. Why are you disabled? As I listen to only a couple vids. So I have an autoimmune disease called ulcerative colitis. Basically, that gives me painful cramps, constant diarrhea. I have diarrhea every day of my life. Basically, imagine having the stomach flu from hell every day of your life. It's pretty fun. And you can imagine that if you lose control of your bowels at work, that's also the end of your employment at that establishment. And they don't like it when you go to the bathroom very often. And they say that they'll be reasonable with accommodations, but typically, if you disclose a disability, they're going to find a reason to quiet fire you every time. As soon as you need accommodations, you're about to get quiet fired, and you're going to be taken off the schedule very, very gradually until you just quit. Do I make dream catchers? I've never made a dream catcher. I think I had one at one point. Have I ever thought about doing an ASMR channel? Um, I don't know what I would do with that. I'm not really an ASMR kind of person, but maybe. The video you did on toxic positivity was great. You express yourself very well. I know I was reading most of it. I wrote it down in my Fox journal. This is where I keep all my notes from my videos. And most of my notes, I just kind of take from other videos on similar topics and then put my spin on it until I have about 15 minutes worth of words to say. La 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 la. Truck driving is the most fun career I've ever had. You are left alone 80% of the day and you do your own thing. Hey, you know what? That's pretty awesome. I just don't think I could operate heavy machinery. If I could, I probably would give it a shot, but it's not really my thing. And Michael says the stomach really affects the mood. Ever since I had my colon removed, I ended up having a major depressive episode. So I think that there's a really big connection between the mind and the gut. Absolutely. Employers hate it when you use the bathroom. Absolutely do. I have lost a lot of jobs because I've had to go to the bathroom more than 3 times a day, which is, you get your two 15-minute breaks and your 30-minute lunch, and that's kind of when you're supposed to go to the bathroom. But yeah, so I go more than that. We'll see how this goes. I've been thinking about just eating a really light meal and taking Imodium before I get on the clock, but I haven't been able to keep a job in a long time. But hey, this is a seasonal position, so maybe with the end in sight, I'll be able to put my mind to it. Bowel problems are problems with the soul or gut. I also have bowel problems. I definitely believe that there is a soul connection with bowel problems, an emotional connection with bowel problems, because it's so emotionally connected to the rest of your body. Let's see. A few job applications have asked if I have a disability. I decided that I wasn't going to disclose. I decided to not self-identify. I noticed that when I don't do that, I get callbacks. Like when I don't self-identify, if I have a disability, I get more callbacks. Do I have nutrient and malabsorption issues? Yes. I get anemic. I've had low B12, low folate. I've had low potassium, low vitamin D. I take a lot of like methylated multivitamins these days. But yeah, mostly I just popped on here today, guys, just to chat, I guess. because I have no one else to talk to. So we can all talk to each other. Let's see. That's cool. If anything like it exists, that is the best job for introverts. Yeah. I'm hoping that reminder to fix the Discord link. Okay, I was looking into it and I couldn't figure it out, but I'm gonna have to do that by the end of tonight. So Michael, I'm gonna commit to you that I'm gonna fix it by the end of tonight. So I'm actually gonna even write it down so that I don't forget. It's so crazy that if you ever think about writing is so weird. I don't know why. I got bothered for going to the bathroom 2 times within my 8-hour shift. Like, what the heck? Oh my God, other side. These guys are like, I know that Amazon is like super crazy when it comes to people going to the bathroom or leaving their station, but it's like so insane. Shelby, I watched some of your videos and I noticed you have anti-natalist ideas. Do you defend radical anti-natalism? I don't think procreation is always wrong. I think if you are prepared to have kids, you should have kids. If that's something you're consciously deciding to do and it's not just out of pressure. So I wouldn't call myself a radical antinatalist by any stretch of the imagination. Fire up ChatGPT to help me. I don't know about that. I mean, I've made a couple videos where I use ChatGPT, and to be honest, I deleted them because they got so few views, and I think everybody realized that I was not being as genuine as I was in my other ones. The other vid I watched where you were feeling like unaliving yourself, or however you call it these days, so to not trip any YouTube red flags. What about it? Oh, that was the other video you watched of me. Okay, yeah. I go through that like once a month. Have I thought about working at a psychiatric hospital? That's an interesting idea. I hear it can be very violent and scary. I don't really have the credentials to work there. Kana Club. You got UC too. Oh man, it can be awful, dude. I hear ya. This might just be me, but when I display pure happiness, the normies around me get mad. Coco, I relate to that. It's like we get suppressed when we express joy. Joy is always suppressed, it seems. Like people don't like it when you express joy a lot of the times, yet they expect you to be fake. It's so weird. I have cerebral palsy, and the same thing happens to me if I say I have a disability. No callbacks. If I don't call Max, it's kind of retarded. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't call Max, it's kind of retarded. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, so I don't even disclose it. I just try to white knuckle it, which hasn't really worked. But at the same time, you got to do what you got to do. At least you get your foot in the door by not disclosing. Because when you disclose, you don't get callbacks. Point blank, period. They absolutely discriminate against people that click that button. I think they actually have like an AI that just throws it away if you say you have a disability. How are your emotions these days? Do they fluctuate radically? They do. Yes, mostly because of the time of the month and stuff like that. Not how you doing? I'm doing good. Insano. What's up? Shelby is making art. I could make some art, and I'm probably gonna set up and take a break from live streaming because I don't want to overstay my welcome on these streams. But I definitely need to fix the Discord link. That's a real thing that I have to do. I commented on a lady's YouTube channel that spreads toxic positivity and made her cry today. Good job, Jack. I'm happy for you. That's what we need in this world. We need people to shoot people down. I'm just kidding. My therapist told me I have to fake being happy and my depression will go away. What? Justin, that therapist is sus. You need to fire that person immediately. I don't believe it. That's horrible. Wish in one hand, poop in the other hand, see which fill. What the heck? No, we're not doing that kind of thing. Congrats on the memberships. Thank you. What kind of movies do I like? I think I've talked about it before. I like animated movies. I've been wanting to watch K-pop Demon Hunter, which I know is, I think, a show, not a movie. But we'll do it. It's one of the reasons I'm half Gnostic. All of the genuine humans seem like the real player characters, while the normies are the hive mind. Yeah, I see that. I like going out to eat. It used to stress me out a little bit more, but I do like free food, so I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to be on Raymond's channel again today. Not today, but maybe later. I'm sure we'll do it again soon. Maybe a month from now, just to keep you guys wanting more. Am I interested in politics? Not really. Everybody's happy to have you here. Shelby, streaming is the way to go, I think. Yeah. I don't want to overdo the streaming. I want to make it interesting and, bring some art and some games into it, which we'll be doing later. I think I'm going to start streaming in November with games after Legends ZA comes out. Maybe December, depending on how long it takes me to actually beat the game and, play it that way. But we'll definitely be doing some shiny hunting and stuff like that. I don't have a PS5. The only console that I have is a Switch, which is going out of style very fast. I think the Switch 2 is coming out soon. Have you thought, dear Shell, of writing an illustration children's book? Those creatures you create, even those you call demons, are eager to be acknowledged. Sure, I mean, I've thought about it. I don't really have an idea for a story, but if anybody knows an author, we could probably collab and make something out of that, do a self-published book or something, which would be pretty fun. We've got 88 people here, which is quite a bit. Quite a bit. If you haven't clicked the like button yet, go ahead. It's free. Alrighty. Shelby, we like your chill vibe. Anything you decide to stream should be awesome. Thanks. Hope so. Are you going to make enough money through YouTube so you don't have to work a regular job? Maybe. I mean, that's going to be tough to do that. It's not even anywhere close to that right now. But, we'll try it out and keep going and see what happens. I don't think streaming as frequently as I am is the right choice. I think maybe twice a week streams would probably be better. It seems to be the best way to do that. Oh, Switch 2 already came out. Okay. I'm behind the times. I know that in Legends GA, the Kalos starter megas are behind a paywall, and I'm thinking that I'm just going to buy the expanded edition with all the DLC already on it so that I don't have to worry about it and just bite the bullet and do it, which I know is such a scam, but whatever. I know you said self-help books are mostly a waste of time. However, do you consider checking out Alice Miller's book, The Drama of the Gifted Child? I think I read that at one point, but it's been a while. I think Alice Miller also wrote Dance of the Dissident Daughter. Hold on. I'm not sure who wrote that. No, Sumunk Kid wrote Dance of the Dissident Daughter. I read that book. I really like that one. Alice Miller wrote a lot of different ones about trauma. I think she mostly writes about trauma, I'm pretty sure. Depression is called depression because it depresses expression. When you're depressed, yep, absolutely agree with that. Coco, you make some great points. Depression is completely a lack of expression. 100% true. And that's all I can really say about that. I'm really trying to find ways to express my depression, because the longer it just sits in my head, the worse it becomes. And I notice I feel so much better when I share with people. And I know that gets a little bit tiresome to the people in my life. So this YouTube channel, of course, is like my free therapy, I guess. So Lineal Nexus, welcome back. Made it just in time as I finished making dinner. What's up? Annalise, it's currently 12:21 a.m. here in the UK, and I'm really enjoying watching you. Thanks, man. I mean, thanks for stopping by, Annalise. That is late. I actually didn't get to sleep until about 5 a.m. last night, and I woke up at 2, which is terrible for my sleep schedule. So I'm hoping that if I get this job at the plant nursery, if you guys are new, I did get an interview at a plant nursery. So I might be a plant mom soon, and I might be doing stuff like cashiering at a plant nursery. Big whoop. But I finally got a call back. So my interview is tomorrow at 11. Yo, Atorius, be happy. Okay, if you insist. Thank you, Atorius. We love that. Artorius. Eating a burger right now, Ryan Chasdick. Pretty cool. You know, I'm thinking about getting a bunch of grass-fed meat off of this website as soon as I get my YouTube check. It should, well, my next YouTube check is supposed to hit in a couple days. It should, maybe even tonight, but we'll see how it goes. I gotta withhold for taxes. I don't know if YouTube withholds for taxes automatically, but anyways. What would I do if I accidentally got pregnant? That would be a nightmare and a half, Michael. I mean, I've had nightmares about it. I've even thought about walking the Appalachian Trail if I didn't have a car just to get to Illinois to have an abortion. Like I'm serious. Like I'm like, how much food? I would probably just panhandle my way through the Appalachian Trail, straight up. I'd just go to Grasstown Bald. I would put my thumb out. I'm like, take me to North Georgia, Grasstown Bald. I get to Grasstown Bald and I just walk 2,000 miles to Illinois with my pregnant ass until I could get an abortion. That's what I would do. That's pretty messed up, but I'm not going to get pregnant because I have an IUD. And if that fails, I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm not active in terms of baby making activities right now. Who is my favorite painter? I like everyone from Juxtaposed magazine, basically, contemporary artists and stuff like that. Of course, I also like people like Frank Frazetta, you know, stuff like that. I've thought about getting my tubes tied, Michael, but it's expensive and it can also cause hormonal imbalances, and I don't want to have any symptoms of menopause because I think that would be bad for me mentally. Okay, YouTube does not withhold taxes. You have to do that. Okay, good to know. Do I like turtles? Sure, why not? The trick to becoming whole and complete within and eliminating depression involves eliminating the need for external validation, which requires relinquishing all forms of spirituality, self-help, etc. Interesting. I don't think I'm that awakened. I still like validation quite a bit. Do I want to be active in those activities but not have kids? Yeah, I'm pretty touch starved at this point. I'm gonna be really honest with you. I mean, it gets desperate. No, it does get a little bit desperate sometimes where you're like touch starved and desperate. But I remember that there's a lot of negativity that can come with it. But I could probably, if I wanted to get laid tonight, I could probably find someone. But I'm not that kind of girl where I just want to sleep with a stranger just because I'm having an urge. I think that's really silly. Yo, Chronicles, what is up? Would you let the dad raise the kid if he was financially wealthy? If I had a wealthy partner, I might decide to have a kid, only because we could afford someone to supervise me with my kid. My thing is like, I think I would need a nanny for me to be a stay-at-home mom because I would need someone to like supervise me with my kid. And I would need someone to take over nights so that I wouldn't be completely exhausted. That's the only way it would ever work. We would need like 8 hours of childcare a day, and that's like freaking expensive. So I don't want to have a kid in less than ideal circumstances. I'm not completely opposed to it, of course. Turtles are good at listening to problems. I didn't know that. To know you are not that awakened is quite awakened. Hey, you know, interesting. I didn't think about that. I definitely have a need for validation and physical touch at this point. I'm still very mortal in that way. Big Shinsky. Oh yes, is my favorite artist. They call him the Nightmare Artist. Yeah, I love Big Shinsky. If you know Frosty, do you know Adam Duffman, who does Lucid Pixel, and he's really inspired by Big Shink. I can't even say it. Big Shinsky. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. I was actually looking him up earlier. And yeah, so he does a lot of Nightmare Fuel shit. Kind of like Geiger-esque, but I think honestly better. Raymond is definitely into you. I don't know if he's into me or not. He doesn't. I really don't know if he is, but maybe if I had money to spare. Oh, that's nice, Rooney. Thank you. Your support, just chatting, is enough. Seems afraid of hard work. Me, of course, I'm afraid of hard work. I don't want to work hard. I did a whole video on not working hard. My opinions of William Blake. I actually have one of his books, his visionary poetry books, in my bookshelf right now. So I love William Blake. He's great. His poetry is great. His paintings are interesting. I love visionary artists. Smash the like button, gang. We love Wise Fool telling everybody what to do in there. Gotta smash that like button, guys. Gotta do it. The game you should play is Wuthering Waves. I've never heard of that. That sounds very interesting. Have I seen the work of Jacek Yurka? No. No, I have not. I'm going to look it up. Oh, wow. This is really cool. Super cool. So it's like, whoa, this one's super trippy. Awesome. Love that guy. Definitely cool. I prefer having the least possible amount of responsibility, so I guess I'm afraid of hard work too, though I'm willing to put an effort. Yeah, I'm the same way. I put an effort for shit that I like. But even then I'm not consistent. OCD brain, everything is wonderful. Okay, cool. I'm glad you feel that way. Gringo, to fully work on yourself is the hardest job of all. I shouldn't be depressed. OCD brain, are you bringing toxic positivity to this toxic positivity chat? I know you're being sarcastic right now. You remind me of one of those new age actors and actresses that make movies with personality similar to yourself. You'd have to let me know who they are, Jack, because I'm not familiar with them. I'm not very familiar with anybody. She looks a lot better after one talk with a man. I'm showing skin because I went out with my parents and I had to take my paint shirt off. Only work hard if you know the numbers are going to be good. OCD brain, see, I knew you were being sarcastic. Shelby in existence makes art. Is Raymond my type? He lives kind of far away and he's a Republican, so probably not. It's just that we have different views. And he talks over me a lot. You or nobody else challenges you? What? People challenge me a lot. What are you talking about? I think having a long-term creative project is the only thing that keeps me from blowing my head off. Greed and selfishness, I am right there with you. I'm working on several projects right now, such as, I think I showed you guys this before. I have this book that I want to fill up with paintings. Here's one. Some show and tell. This is a, I believe this is a Kieran. Just some interesting arts. All of these are acrylic. I think you guys have seen some of these before in my shorts, but I've never really shown them. Like this. Here's a wolf. Salty. Let's see if I can find another one. Here's one. This one is a mom that doesn't want to be a mom. She's having a hard time. She has postpartum depression. Anyway. By the way, I'm willing to buy your arts and we'll pay for a commission request too. Okay, Chronicles. You can check out my Shopify if you're interested in prints. Where did I get this book? It is from Amazon.com. It was about $65, brand spanking new, and I've had it since March. Who got more attention from boys, you or your sister? My sister, definitely. What did you do today before the stream? I didn't really do much. I made a video, I did some writing, and I did a bit of painting as well. And I went on my exercise walk and I did my exercise video for the day. I seem to be enjoying the live streaming. Sorry, John, I just saw that. I do enjoy this. It's fun to just talk to the chat. It's like my only social time of the day. Shelby, some guys are really into nerdy girl look. Maybe I should like up my nerdy girl look. I've been thinking about doing like a VTuber thing. What do you guys think about like a VTuber avatar for me? I could do like a furry VTuber avatar instead of my face. That might be fun. My plans for the future, you know, I take it one day at a time, honestly. Part of the video game field are you interested in? Probably art and design. You wish you could draw as good? You can. Anybody can. I'm going to show you guys some more of my Book of Shadows. Here's another. I did a spell, you guys, to attract more subscribers to my channel. This is what it looks like. Yeah, I know that's pretty freaking goofy. Oh, I didn't really get that far, Greed. That's probably part of the problem, is because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I honestly wanted to do like Magic the Gathering illustrations. That was my pipe dream. And I know that's not technically video games, but that's basically what I wanted to do. My pipe dream was just to be an illustrator and concept artist. You like my face. Thank you, Chronicles. Have I thought about exhibiting at DragonCon? You know, it's funny. I just heard I have thought about it, but I'm not really ready for that yet. I heard that there was this AI prompter who ended up getting into the artist alley, and then they got escorted out by security once everyone narked on them and said, yo, this guy's a prompter. He's not an artist. And he got kicked out, and it was on the news and everything. Pretty funny. I started to get a grip on my mental health issues. I'm almost 33, and I've been going nuts for 10 to 12 years, too. Love that. Yeah, these prompters got to go. I love it when a prompter gets what's coming to them. The audacity to bring AI prompts to a like artist alley where you're going to be analyzed by like other actual artists who can tell when something has AI artifacts is actually crazy. Illustration was a thing in the 1800s. It was called the Japanification of books, I think. Interesting. I draw, paint, write poetry, do magic, code, design projects, engineer. I choose mechanical engineering over being an artist. That's probably the best choice. You should never, Jack, don't regret that choice. You know, if you're going to put your energy into anything, it might as well be something that can make money. What are we going on here? I'm not going to say anything about what you're talking about, Jim. I don't know what's going on there. The longest I let my hair grow, okay, so I had my hair at one point, it was like down to here. But it started getting split ends and it started getting mats, like tangles. And it was just became unmanageable. And at this point, my hair is getting to a strange length where I do need to trim at this point. But anyway, guys, we got about 10 more minutes left on our stream today. I experienced an ego death, not through psychedelics, but through having a chronic illness. Because everything I knew to be true shattered around me. And I had this moment where I was having deathbed visions. And it was brutal. I was so shattered that it took me about 10 years to recover. I would love to see a painting of a walking potato with a fork in hand. That would be an interesting painting. Women are familiar with ego death for many reasons. I wonder what those reasons are, John. I think birth can be a way of ego death. It's one of the reasons I don't want to do it. People like pursue ego death for some reason. And to me, it's like, listen, ego death is typically created through tragedy or a heroic dose of drugs, which, can seriously damage you. And it can be a real doozy because anything that interrupts your daily patterns is actually fairly traumatic. So I don't think anyone wants to, like, yeah, John, you're right on track. You're right on track. It's like ordeals are what cause ego death. You don't want to have an ego death because it means you're going to be put through a trial. You want the rewards on the other side, but trust me, you don't want to go through it. I'm glad I found you. Honestly, we're similar, and I thought I was alone in my experience. Chronicles, we are not alone. Definitely not alone at all. Do I still have the big painting of the woman's face? I do. You want to see it? It hasn't sold yet. I have it on all sorts of platforms, though. I am 5'6". That's how old I am. How tall I am, I mean. Ego death through trauma was tough for me. Same thing. Took many years to recover. Yeah. I had a real NDE experience, pure consciousness, and was fortunate to come back to life. Since then, I searched for truth and had an ego elimination. It took me like years to come back into my body after my ego death. It fully dissociated me from physical reality in a way that was dangerous. And I don't know if that was a trauma response, but that's the way I label it. It was an ego death for real. Have I ever broken a man's heart? No. I'm looking for some dark crucifix tattoos. Can I help you out? I probably could do some dark crucifixes. Each wave of fortune, good or bad, pushes us further up the shores. Good point. It is for sale still. I'm willing to negotiate on the price. The biggest problem right now is shipping. Why is life hard when it could have been easy? That's what I wonder all the time, other side. Can both defy and define the darkness. Light. I agree with that, John. It's very profound. Totally agree with that. I got caught in the loop of ego death, but with little to no real tangible rewards. Lots of life lessons. Cool. Thanks. I'm glad that I'm not taller, Joe, because that would really suck. I think it would suck to be tall as a woman.